But so the first time I was hooked, and I immediately just jumped into the crowd. And I knew from him, I knew what the little language was. It has its own language on the apps. You use a capital T for Tina.
Okay.
So you say party with a capital T. And or you use a now these days that was back in the day, but now these days there are emojis with a part, the little party emoji with
Yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
party hat or whatever. There's certain things you use, and that's the secret language, so you don't have to actually spell out the fact that you're smoking crystal meth. And so I just fell right in, and from that day until 3.5 years later, in that span of time, I lost it all. I lost my kids. I was evicted. My car was repossessed. I was fired. I was arrested 4 times. I
Jesus.
mean, I just it just snowballed because the thing is that it also crystal meth knows it's an intelligent drug. It knows how to go into your brain, identify your insecurities, and just accelerate them to the fact that when you're on it, you have to have it to feel normal. Because it's so weird. If someone is prone to, let's say, for me, I lacked self-acceptance, so I would just cling on to these men. And while being high, I felt I felt that acceptance. I felt that euphoria, that heaven. And then of course getting off of it was pure hell because everything crashed, your emotions crashed and all that. So I had to have more. And so then I got into injecting it. And that's when it really turned ugly for me. It started affecting my brain. I stopped paying my bills. I stopped working. I was floating through life. And since I wasn't working, got addicted to shoplifting. And I got made two friends and we started getting into fraud. We started printing our own checks. We were printing our own money and people were accepting it somehow. $10 bills for some reason. We were stealing. We were just doing everything. We would start the day at zero and try to get as much money as we could by the end of the day to buy enough drugs. And if we had left over, we would eat.
All rationality just goes out the window.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
often how often were you using then? Would you say like in a period what so you're on for I mean, how does that work?
I was I was injecting 3 times a day.
3 times a day. And
Three
that
times a day.
okay. And how
Mhm.
often then? Every single day, three
Every
times a day?
day, every
Jeez.
day. So eventually I started sleeping and eating on it. My body got so used to it. And then it was less about sex and more about just a chemical dependency.
Yeah, the addiction that you had to it.
Yeah.